Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Apostle Heliru Dokeno of Rivers of Life Bible Church. Well, we are on Majesty Christian Television Network this hour, and then bringing 101 with a special guest. Today, we have an interview. We'll be having an interview with Her Excellency Mirjam Blaak-Sow, because we seek to explore developments on the diplomatic, socio-economic, and political fronts in Uganda. So, since the last time we met, we want to know some of the developments, some of the things you've been doing regarding this area, and our main focus will dwell on the bilateral relations and its relevance for the Ugandan diasporas living here in Benelux. So welcome to Majesty.
Thank you very much, Reverend Helen. It's wonderful to be back here. You have also evolved. You are not on radio, but now on TV.
Yeah, we are still on radio anyway.
I know, but it's lovely to be back, and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. The last time you came, you were on your African regalia. So today I said, let me just go and put on the African headgear just for you.
Well, it is still beautiful, not only for me, but for the viewers as well. And most of the people who know me, I usually wear the African outfit. But now I decided to
wear the South African.
Complement it with other regalia.
Well, that's okay.
It's nice.
So, thank you, Her Excellency.
Yes, you're
now,
welcome.
how much has changed in your diplomatic position and responsibility since the last time we met you?
Yeah, that's right. That was 2011, I think. It's a number of years ago. And in 2012, the president appointed me to become the head of mission in Brussels.
Oh.
And prior to that, I had been living in the Netherlands and looking after Uganda's interests for 9 years. Yeah, based in the Netherlands, but being the deputy head of mission in Brussels. So for me, it has come with a lot more responsibility.
Okay.
First of all, I had to move to Brussels, and I don't only look after the Netherlands, but I look after Belgium, Luxembourg, and the European Union. And of course, even the Netherlands is like what we call a multilateral station, because we have many international organizations here. You know, The Hague, the city of peace and justice.
Yeah.
So we have, the International Criminal Court, the International Court of Justice, the Permanent Court of Arbitration, and many other judicial legal institutions. So it is a lot of work. And even though I'm based in Brussels, that doesn't mean I'm neglecting my duties in the Netherlands. I try to be here at least once a week, and sometimes it is several days, depending on when I have delegations come from Uganda.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you've been too busy from all of these explanations you've just given.
Actually, yes. It is a very hard job. It is not easy. We have a lot of meetings and delegations coming. The EU keeps us busy. We are in Belgium. We are in a group called ACP. Africa, Caribbean, Pacific. And yes, there's a whole schedule of meetings like every day. So I do have staff who can also represent us in some of these meetings, but it still is a much wider mandate than I had.
So could this explain the reason why we have missed you really in some of these diplomatic activities,
Yes.
We've really missed you. We come and then we are looking around. Where is Ambassador Black? I said, where is she? I want to see her.
Yeah.
I don't get to see you.
No, because if it's Africa Day, we also have Africa Day in Brussels.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is not possible to then be in two places at the same time. We have Uganda Day, and maybe that is something that we should also invite you to.
Yeah, okay.
This year it was in Veenendaal. But again, I had another delegation, so I had to myself be represented by my deputy and some of my other staff. So there are lots of activities that I try to also attend while in the Netherlands, but it's not always possible to be everywhere. But I do miss my colleagues here, but we do meet them. Like last week, we had an event at the palace. We also had the ICC assembly, so
Wow.
there were lots of opportunities to meet colleagues who have been your guest as well. Ambassador from Ghana, ambassador from Nigeria, ambassador from Rwanda. We know them all. So,
It has been a privilege anyway, having them on our show.
No, that's true.
It has been a very wonderful privilege, and we value it because right now, look at the effort you made all the way from Brussels, driving and coming here just to grant us interview.
No, it's nice. And,
we appreciate it.
You see, we have the diaspora living in the Netherlands. Obviously, we need to give attention to this important group of people.
Yeah.
I think here in the Netherlands we have about 3,000 Ugandans living.
Okay.
So they are important for us. We want to keep in touch with them. We have, of course, people who have become Dutch or others who are married to Dutch. We have students living here in The Hague, in Delft, in Groningen, in Amsterdam. We have people everywhere. And then, of course, there are people who work here, who work with international organizations, and we need to keep them close.
Yeah.
They need us for some consular services.
Yeah.
So also what is very important is what they bring in terms of remittances back to the country, to Uganda.
Back to their home country.
Yeah, back to us, yes, to Uganda. So what we need to talk to them about, I think, is instead of just sending money back home to their families, what we would like to see them do is invest in like a cottage industry, like maybe drying mangoes in a garage, so that people can actually start a little economic activity and then become independent, self-reliant, so that the people, the relatives here, can make an investment in the business rather than just sending money back home for school fees, for whatever other needs they have. So I think it's very important to do that.
This is very, very, very important. Really?
So that's what we are trying to encourage them to do.
If they are not being enlightened to know the benefit of what you've just said, then they will not see the necessity of it.
Yeah. No, that is true. But there are very active young Ugandans that I know who have been importing fruits and vegetables, and of course some of them are in flower business. And so when we do talk and meet with them, recently we met at the opening of the Uganda Cultural Center, also in Amsterdam Zuidoost. Very well attended, was an excellent function. So now they sort of have a home, where they can go to, and I think that's important because then you can discuss with them real issues. So what we have resolved after the opening of that Uganda house is that for consular activities, I will try to send one of the consular officers from Brussels to come once a month to deal with the issues that they would like to discuss. They need forms, they need passports, they need whatever other consular activities are needed.
Yes.
So that good has come out of opening of the cultural center, the Uganda House, that we can now actually have it functional for them as well. Instead of forcing them to come all the way to Brussels, we come once a month and see what services we can render to them. So it's good. I hope it's going to function, and
I hope so too. And that will make life easier for the people as well.
That is right.
Because there are some of them who may not have the opportunity of traveling all the way to Brussels.
Yeah, I know. It's
so
quite
now they
far.
Can still have the same consular problem being solved here.
Yeah, no, that is what we intend to do, to make it easier and facilitate, the services that we can render, and it will prevent them from coming all the way. It's not easy sometimes to travel with children or to take time off jobs, and so I don't say that everything can be handled here, but at least we're making it easier and see how it will work in the future. We just started. We had the last 2 weeks ago, I think, the consular officer went for the first time.
Really?
So it's good. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
So people came, Ugandans came
to the center, and then we had them coming
good.
for a couple of hours. So then people come and they wait for their turn to pose us the questions that they need. Some of them, as you know, may have Dutch nationality now. So they come with their passports and they want a visa to come home. That is quite fun. But no, what we also have now, we have changed our constitution so people can actually have dual nationality.
Yeah.
So we are trying to see how we can also make that available when people start applying, if they have lost their passport or they have, and they now want to again apply for the Ugandan passport, then that's one other service that we would like to render to them.
Render.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Your Excellency, part of your job is promoting Uganda's national interest and position in the Benelux. How do you really do that? Can you throw a little bit light on that? How do you accomplish that task?
Well, I think we look at our objectives as a foreign policy. Of course, what we first and foremost need, I think, in every country that is similar, is peace and stability.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very necessary.
Now, if you look into Uganda and the constellation, the geopolitical situation in which we find ourselves, Uganda is quite a stable country now, has been stable for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Whereas before that, we were the most unstable nation.
Okay.
So I think that is one of the achievements that we have so far reached in Uganda.
Okay.
And you saw in our neighboring countries, there's been quite a bit of problems, as you know. Burundi has been very much in the news. Of course, Somalia, although it's not an immediate neighbor. South Sudan is an immediate neighbor. And we believe that it's very important for us to also try and involve ourselves in achieving peace and stability in the region, not only Uganda, but that is why we have peacekeeping forces in Somalia. We have thousands of forces there.
Okay.
We have also been involved under the IGAT principle in South Sudan.
Okay.
And because you see, economically you cannot develop if you don't have peace and security.
It's true.
Yes. So that is number one.
Yeah.
So I think whatever we do in terms of bilateral relations with Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands is to promote that.
To promote peace.
Peace and security. And of course, peace and security goes, you have to have a good, well-trained police, you have to have a good, well-trained legal system, you have to have courts that can guarantee rights of the people.
Yeah.
So you have to have a good army to protect the people's rights. So it's very important. And I think the Netherlands has been a very active country in Uganda over the last few decades. And they have been really assisting us a lot, especially in the justice, law and order sector. So we continue our engagements with the Dutch. Of course, we are having next year in February, we shall have presidential and parliamentary elections. So that is something that we also have to monitor and see how everything is going. So we have a whole roadmap to see when people can put up their candidature, when the local elections are taking place and things like that. So it's important. Yeah.
Yes, it is. And I think in your country you don't have any problem with security. Do you have problem with that? Because I don't think Boko Haram is really troubling your country.
Boko Haram, no. It's not troubling our countries, but no, we have had terrorist attacks as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, in 2010. It was Al-Shabaab. And Al-Shabaab, we lost about 79 people. It was on the evening of the finals of the World Cup when it was the Netherlands was playing against Spain. When two bombs went off in Uganda. One was at the rugby club and another one in an Ethiopian restaurant. This was politically motivated by Al-Shabaab, and Al-Shabaab considers us an enemy because we are having a large contingent of troops, peacekeeping forces under AMISOM in Somalia.
Yeah, okay.
So, as you know, there recently been attacks in Kenya. So we really have to be very vigilant, population as well, very vigilant in what we are doing. And I think terrorist threats are everywhere, whether it's Boko Haram, whether it's Al-Shabaab, whether it's IS. It is everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So every country, I think, needs to have a very strong policy to fight terrorism. I think we cannot, be an exception to the rule.
No.
So we have more security, more checking mechanisms and so forth. So it's not easy, but it's global problem. It's not only a local problem. And so yes, I would say thank God that we have been safe from any attacks so far. So let us hope that our security forces and will do the necessary to protect the people of Uganda.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Definitely. That is very, very necessary. Okay, in this last 3 years, have you seen any emergence of any new bilateral cooperation or possibilities between the EU and Uganda?
Definitely. I think what happens globally, I think when, for instance, you have a global economic crisis, is that people, especially companies, start looking elsewhere. Where can we start earning money? Because here there was almost a negative growth, from 2008 up to now, really. And with the Greek problem, we don't know how things are going to work out. So that is when I think Africa was in a position to say, listen, you have your global economic crisis. It wasn't caused by us, Africans. We had nothing to do with it. And you can see in Uganda, we still had a growth of about 5.7% in those years that here there was almost a negative growth. And I'm sure that in other countries in Africa, there was still a very increase of our economic development. So it shows that now what we need to do is to then encourage other companies to say, listen, you have difficulties in this Europe and Western countries and what? Come to Africa. Come to Africa, we need you for your knowledge, your managerial skills, we need your capital, we need your machinery, but we have the labor force, we have the raw materials, we have the beautiful climate. We have all that to make a partnership. And I think that is what is important. We are looking for joint ventures with companies that can actually assist us in our development. So a lot of the promotion is in terms of investment. Even though if you don't want to have a local partner, you can just come in and invest. We not require you to have a local partner. You can come and invest, take your dividends out when you have earned your money. And so we are very open and have a very liberal policy. Of course, with the EU, there has also been changes because we were previously under the ACP Cotonou arrangement. I don't know whether you, which actually determines the relationship between the ACP countries and the EU. And we have been getting a lot of aid, of course. It is development funds. We are now on the European Development Fund number 11. So there have been 10 previously. And the number 11 that we have just entered into is valid up to 2020. So there will be lots of programs whereby the EU is helping Uganda and many other countries in the ACP group to help develop. And another aspect of our development has been, previously we were under a trading regime called EBA, everything but arms. Now that has changed because I think the EU also wanted to liberalize and have more products come into our countries. And so we are trying to liberalize trade because EBA was a system that was no longer applicable in the present constellation between the EU and the ACP countries. So we have now negotiated an EPA. It's called an Economic Partnership Agreement. So we have...
you guys have a lot of slogans, short terms.
I know, it's not easy. EPA. Anyway, it's a new Economic Partnership Agreement that we have done for regions. So I think the ECOWAS region has one. The SADC region has one, the ISA region, and the EAC. Uganda is a part of a regional economic group called the East African Community. That is 5 countries. You have had Ambassador of Rwanda, of course, he's part of our East African community. It's called East African Community. So we have just...
That would be a very powerful alliance.
Well, I hope so. It is important, you see. I hope so, that it is important. You see, regional integration, I think, for Africa and our development is the only way to go. because Europe is big, they are powerful. The West, the United States, Canada, they're big and powerful. China, big and powerful. The new BRIC countries, India, Brazil, they are powerful. Where we are weak. And if you're weak, it means you can join hands. You have to first get into a regional economic partnership in order to prosper.
Does this does this regional partnership, does it also encourage investment in those
very
you know, because I think it's very, very important.
That is very important.
It's very, very important because if Africans from other African countries like me from Nigeria will now be free to go to Uganda to go and invest, do some investment. That would be very, very nice.
Oh, but you can.
Do you understand? Because it's like whenever we talk about investment, we are only looking at the white people to just come.
That's true. That's true. But I think Nigeria, you are more, going into other countries now as well, because you're a very, very powerful nation.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, and economically you're doing extremely well. But you don't need an economic partnership with us. Because you are free to come in. In Uganda, whether you were black, white, yellow, red, or whatever, it doesn't make any difference. Everybody who wants to come in, work and set up a project, establish, an economic entity, to make money, it's fine. Come in. So we are not, what we're doing, sorry to interrupt, what we are doing with our East African community is we have a customs union, so that between the 5 countries, they are no longer, hopefully in the future there are still some tariffs, but we are phasing them out, so that you can just freely travel and with your goods in and out, and you don't need all the paperwork with the trucks, standing there for days to
I'm looking for Ambassador. I'm looking for a time when people like you, ambassadors like you, will come out, openly in the media and then be talking about issues like this to the diasporas, letting them know that, it doesn't matter your country of origin. It doesn't matter, whether you are from West Africa or South Africa or East Africa. You can come to any part of Africa and do your investment. Because if those in the diaspora will get to know that they are so free, and our ambassadors are promoting this sort of cooperation, there will be a lot of, we will tap into, we will tap into resources.
That is true.
We will not be at a position of looking at the white people, because it's like all the ambassadors are just looking for a way to grab investors, and their investors are only white people.
Yeah, no, but you can see even after the apartheid, how many South African companies, they must have come to Nigeria as well. They are now everywhere in many other countries, like MTN. Is MTN with you?
Yeah, MTN. Yeah, we see it. Yes, I see them.
Yeah, so I think... people realize, and I think that is what we need to do with our economic integration into regional groups.
Yes.
Because you first have to integrate regionally before Africa can become a unity.
Where did you get this concept, really?
Oh, no.
The concept of interregional, interregional groups.
Yeah.
How did you get it? Because EU, we see that EU is comprises of how many countries, really?
Now 28.
28.
Yeah,
So
28.
if they had started with maybe 4 or 5, it wouldn't work.
Started with 3, Benelux. That is true. Benelux. Then they grew to 6. It was EEC, and then slowly it has increased with the numbers. I think definitely for Africa, and that is what we are looking for in our position vis-a-vis the EU, is really, emphasize regional integration.
Okay.
In order to regionally integrate, what you need is infrastructure.
Okay.
For Uganda, we are not at a harbor. So previously, people used to call us, we are a landlocked country. But our former Minister of Finance said, no, don't say it negatively. Landlocked, we are land-linked, she said. I thought it was nice, actually. So I said, that one I'll keep in some of the presentations.
Yeah.
It's true. Be positive. Say we are land-linked.
Okay.
Which is a problem, because everything we have, what we export, in terms of flour and coffee and tea and sesame seeds and whatever, has to go into containers and is transported by road to the harbor of Mombasa or Tanga or Dar es Salaam. Those are the nearest. So with our economic partnership, at least, on the economic East Africa community, we are now able, without too many paperwork and bureaucracies, to directly export it through those harbors. But what we need, because really, if you say you have a farm, and you are you're getting milk from your cows.
Yes.
If you have no road, excess road,
yes,
that enables you to deliver the milk to a cooling center,
it wouldn't be.
then these poor farmers will have to feed the milk back to the cows or just dump it in a ditch.
It's terrible.
So that is why it's so important to have infrastructure. And that is something that we have emphasized as well in our relationship with the EU. They need to assist us on infrastructure. Because if you want to liberalize the market with the EU, where they are very, very, very much developed with their factories and everything, what we need is to add value to our products. We shouldn't be sending our coffee beans that are dried on the streets or the house or whatever in sacks and then export them. We get like €1 a kilo. Okay. And here you buy in a specialty coffee shop, you buy here €12 a kilo. So the €12...
Because it has been processed.
Exactly. So the processing needs to be starting for us. We need to roast, we need factories, we need to then start packaging, and then we can actually export a finished product.
Yes,
that is what we are looking for.
Yes.
Because that's the only way to grow. Now, if the EU doesn't want a finished product here, then we have to sell within Africa. We have to sell within ourselves. That's why we first need, regional integration into our sort of constellation that we have now in the regional groups. We have COMESA, we have other customs-free areas, etc. Free trade zones, we have to promote that as well, and start trading amongst ourselves.
Yes, free trade zones,
this is really what we are looking for. So I think, but we are moving there. It is going to continue.
Yes, because I believe that Africa is very rich.
Oh yes, we are the richest.
And we also have very rich citizens in Africa.
I know,
so if some of these politicians that are corrupt would stop embezzling the economy of our, if they will stop their embezzlement and they take time. Okay, I believe that the money we are looking for outside is inside Africa.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
Because all these investors we are looking and we are chasing, I believe that we can have them within the, the boundaries of Africa. Yeah, and then we can have these finished products, the factories being constructed, being built, people being employed, and then we can take the finished product and export them.
And then export them, yes.
So it calls for just a little bit of, how do I say it? Caution, for our politicians to be aware and use money judiciously.
No, that's fine. I hope that many Africans who are doing well now, but you can see that at least for as far as I know, as far as Uganda is concerned, we can see that Ugandans are investing in our own country.
Really?
And that you can only achieve because we have peace and security. You see, before that, people are not thinking of investing in their own country. They just want to take money and put it in banks in Switzerland or offshore somewhere. That is no longer the case. And that's, you can see when people have trust and confidence in the future of a country, because you have created peace and stability and economic progress has been made, then of course your people will not go outside and look for investing their money. They will invest it in our country themselves. So it is happening, and I'm sure it's also happening in Nigeria. People are not necessarily taking it out there, investing also money.
People will want to invest, but because of the instability, because of these Boko Haram issues and security problems, people do not want to. I believe there will be many investors who would have liked to go to Nigeria, but because of these Boko Haram issues, nobody will want to go to a place where they will slice your head and whatever. But the way CNN portrays it, but that is not really how it is.
No,
there are still some areas in Nigeria, many areas in Nigeria are very, very safe.
Yeah,
very safe.
No, but coming back to, you say, I have always said the 21st century is for Africa. We are the richest continent in the whole world.
Yes,
it's only that some of us don't realize, we don't know it maybe, or we have been sitting on everything that is in the ground, in our soil, with our minerals, the mineral wealth. And therefore, it's important we start realizing that we should not give these things just away for next to nothing.
Exactly.
Add value in the country and then export. So a lot of minerals, we had a ban in Uganda. Don't export them. We want first for the people who are there, who are getting the minerals, to add value to it before we export them. Yeah, so that is a good start.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
that's a good start, because otherwise people take advantage. Like I said, with the coffee beans, you can you don't get anything for
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
and it keeps the poor, the farmers poor.
Poor, yes.
So that is what we need in terms of economic development. But that realization is coming more and more. We have also found oil in Uganda.
Really?
Oil
So,
and gas about 10 years ago already, and we haven't
but
gotten it out of the ground yet.
yes.
But we have started
Awesome.
exploration is there, exploitation not yet.
Wow.
We have systems in place, and we had to change the laws in order for not for the foreigners to just take advantage of us, but to also make sure that the benefits and the profits out of the oil before the Ugandan citizens rather than individuals.
Awesome, really?
Yeah, it's very necessary. You have to make sure. So even the president there, sometimes we say, oh, we have been exploring for oil for 10 years. Where's the oil? He said, but it better stays in the ground, and we know when it's coming out that we can use it properly,
Yeah, exactly.
instead of somebody robbing it from us.
It's true.
So that is what we are doing. That's what
Really?
we have no hurry.
Oh my
As long as
God.
it stays in the ground, we can keep it there.
Well,
Yes.
those of you who are listening and you are watching this program, is we are having 101 with Her Excellency Ambassador Mirjam Blaak-Sow, the Ambassador of Uganda to the
Benelux and the EU, yeah.
Benelux
Yeah.
and EU.
Yeah.
So feel free to give us a call on 020-3374-160 should you have any question for Her Excellency. Now let's talk about the cultural, the Ugandan cultural house,
Yes.
which you were saying some few minutes ago you
Yeah.
opened. What is the significance of this accomplishment to you and to all the Ugandans in the diaspora?
Yeah. Well, Ugandans in diaspora have been organizing themselves for the last 10 years already. They have been trying to see whether they could come together, discuss their problems, do little seminars, make them aware of certain rights or things that are going wrong, or help them with the transfers of money, remittances. I mean, a multi task to answer the questions that some of them may have. So they've been doing that, but they never had like a location where it could be held. It was at somebody's house before. So now they've gotten hold of this little pavilion, the center. And it's really has come from Ugandans themselves. As an embassy, we were not really involved, other than saying, how can we add more value by having the consular activities, or maybe some other meetings, like if we have high-level visitors that are coming who would like to meet with the diaspora Ugandans.
Yes.
And we also invite people from East African community. Yeah, it's not necessarily Ugandans. I think, like you are saying, we need to encourage the African approach rather than being only for Ugandans. And I think we all have our natural hospitality in us in Africa to make sure that other nationals from Uganda or even from Europe as well are welcome to the center. So it's something that has grown by the this is what they established themselves.
That's good.
It's called Ugandan Community the Netherlands. And so we shall support it as and hopefully have some cultural exchanges when we have groups touring Africa, or I mean not Africa but in Europe, that they can also come maybe to Uganda, to the Netherlands from Uganda. We have singers who sometimes come. They can now perform maybe
in that place
really? From time to time. So it's a very nice, and people feel like it's a little part of home.
So in what way does it facilitate your services?
No, what I think is important is it's for us easy if Ugandans are organized themselves, that if we want to talk to them as a group, we do it through communication. They have a website. We then say, okay, now the consular office is coming, or if they wanted to have an exchange with the ambassador or other people in different area, they call on us, and then we will try and arrange for a meeting at the cultural center at the Uganda House. So in that sense, it will benefit all of us. I think it brings us closer together, and that's what we need, because we do recognize the importance of Ugandans living in the Netherlands. They have their social networks, they have their commercial networks. So they bring something to, to contribute to actually protecting our interests. So I think that's very important.
Wow.
It is part of our mandate, is to be in touch with the diaspora. We do organize conventions. There's one big one in the United States every year. There's now a convention, I think, in London in September. It's the third one. There's one in Denmark as well, where Ugandans come together. We have many of them living in UK, because UK was our former colonizer. Then, of course, many people have also established themselves in all these difficult periods to be living in the United States. So when they have a convention, we have high-level visitors, the Minister of Trade and the Minister of, sometimes our president goes there to address them. And realize that some of them have really fantastic skills that we do need at home. Some of them have been in inventions that we would like to bring back home. So it's excellent to have that relationship with them and encourage them and say, please come and do something at home. So that is what we are trying to achieve by these, and it's working very well. And people feel, home is home, no matter whether you've been living outside for 30 years. People still want to go home, or be in touch with home. Your relatives are there. Home is home.
We have a caller.
Oh, yes.
We have a caller. Somebody wants to speak with Her Excellency.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of them have been inventions that we would like to bring back home.
Hello, can you speak? Hello, caller. Caller.
Hello.
Have we lost? Okay. Please feel free to repeat that call. The number is 020-3374-160. Should you want to make contact with the ambassador of Uganda to the Benelux and EU. How do you pronounce this last word? Is it a so?
So, yeah.
Okay.
So West Africa.
Right. So, yes. Our next question is that we realize that the Ugandan diaspora, they are seeking a sort of acknowledgement for their annual financial remittances back home.
Let's try again, okay?
Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Sorry.
It went off.
It's very interesting to know what questions they have.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
Oh.
very lovely. Yes.
Well, don't give up, whoever you are calling. I know you want to reach to your ambassador, but unfortunately we are having some technical hitch. Don't give up. Just try again. Thank you. So, Your Excellency.
Yeah, you were asking me about the diaspora.
They are seeking for some sort of acknowledgement.
Correct.
For their annual financial remittances back home.
Yeah.
So, in which way do you think this request should be honored?
No, I think what people now realize that we are already acknowledging the importance of remittances. In fact, the remittances, that means the foreign exchange.
Yeah, but how are you acknowledging it?
Because we have established in our Ministry of Foreign Affairs a special diaspora desk.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So there are people who are manning the desk, and it is important that if they have questions or they want information, they can. Yeah, it's on the internet, so they can also get information through the website. So that is one thing. Then I told you before, we are doing those conventions.
The conventions. Yes.
Yeah, it's very important that we continue, because those are real issues that we are discussing there. It's development, it's tourism, it's trade, it is how the diaspora can be even more useful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. in terms of their skills that they have acquired abroad. You know, we still need some of our doctors back, our engineers, our, you know, people who have been in the ICT.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we need that kind of development at home.
Yeah.
So you will only know what skills are out there by having a discussion with them. Otherwise,
Yes,
they would
it's
not
true.
be able
It's
to
true.
be recognized. So the fact that we are having those conventions is, I think, a very important step towards the recognition that they deserve.
Okay.
And if they want more, they have to engage us at
Yeah,
the
but
embassies.
have you made an attempt? Have you made any attempt at least to bring them back home?
Yeah.
You know, to bring them back home, like
Oh, yes.
come over, have
yeah.
an annual
Oh, yeah.
convention. Some of these conventions
Yeah.
you are having in other countries, can't it be done in Uganda?
Yeah, I guess that could be also one way of looking at it. It's a very good idea
Yeah,
to
because-
have it in Uganda. But people find it more useful because they don't have to travel all the way back to the Netherlands, up into Uganda if they are in the Netherlands. So I guess some of them are now going to London, to the convention in London in September. When we bring out a lot of people like the Uganda Investment Authority, the Uganda Export Promotion Board, we have the Minister of Tourism, we have the Minister of Trade. So all those people who are already having links can now ask questions and say, listen, by meeting the people. And especially from here, we have many people that have gone back to get jobs and to do the trade and set up their own companies back home.
Okay.
So we do. And that is because we have already been involved with them for the last 10, 12 years.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
has made a significant change.
Okay.
Also, we bring sometimes people, we have ministers who come and visit. And then we can sometimes arrange for a 1-2 hour meeting with the diaspora. And it has been important because sometimes if people haven't been coming back home, they are not having a very accurate view on what is happening back home.
Okay.
So when you bring in the politicians or the ministers or other professionals, they can give you the real story as to what is happening back home. So I think that gives them a chance to change their mind about what is happening back home. Sometimes they only read about in the papers only give negative news, and the positive news get often neglected. So I think by having an actual contact, a one-to-one or one with many, at least they can ask questions, and they now are better informed about the possibilities back home. And
because
be more
what our country is doing is that they have the diaspora week, and then in that diaspora week, the government is so much involved in it, and so the governors and the ministers, they come. We meet maybe in any of the states they have chosen, mostly in Abuja.
Oh yes.
And then the diasporas, those who are skilled, are invited to come down home. And then you showcase what you can do.
Yeah.
So while you are showcasing what you can do, all those ministers and governors, they are watching.
Yes.
You know,
No,
they are
that is
watching,
good,
so
that
they
is
are
good.
they are able to.
Yeah, that is a very nice.
It's a very
idea.
and
very solid.
And because of the fact that they allow us to just pay our flight.
Yeah.
But the accommodation, they take care of that.
Oh, wow.
They put us in a hotel and the feeding as well
it's a good
for
idea.
3 days,
Wow.
Yes. So it gives also those who have stayed long the opportunity of traveling back home to see things by themselves, to see that, the country is not so underdeveloped as we may be thinking, that things are going on. So diaspora week. So I think it can be a very good idea for your own diasporas as well, to incorporate this sort of thing that the Nigerians are already doing into your
Well, we do invite some of them are coming with trade missions and investment missions. So that is also one way, because then you organize with many meetings, business to business meetings. They also get information that is more of a general nature. They meet the Minister of Investment and Trade and all those ones. So we do regularly organize trade missions and commercial missions or exchanges. So that is also taking place. But thank you. I will suggest the Diaspora Week. It's very important.
It is. Even this 23rd of July, this coming month, the diasporas we are organizing a business seminar down in Nigeria.
Yeah, very good.
So we are taking lots of investors from here down to Nigeria.
No, it's excellent.
It's a good thing. I think if Uganda and the other countries, African countries, can begin to motivate their diasporas in this manner, a lot will be achieved very soon.
Oh,
Well, we are going to take a very short break, and we hope that someone who is trying to call would have the privilege of calling us. So it has been a wonderful time with the